Hey YouTube, it's been a while. Just heading downstairs here to my pain cave, and I'll go over some things that might explain that term in just a minute. But last I talked to you guys, I was pushing my strength boundaries and stepped away from that and started cutting weight and just trying to get in more aerobic shape, less physical peak strength, or should I say peak physical power strength. So kind of changing gears here and going more towards cardiovascular endurance and mainly just getting ready for this bike trip that I'm going to be taking. So today is going to be a shakedown run. I'm going to be camping out tonight, testing out my sleep system, and seeing how things pack on the bike. I'll probably do this, I don't know, maybe 5 more times before this trip. It's a 4-day, 400-mile endurance event that I'm treating as an extended bike packing trip, and a lot of guys do in 2 days. So I think last year, one of the guys that completed it first completed it in 46 hours. I don't think I'm there yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting close. I can put 100 miles on the bike in a day easily. It's not a big deal. The following day, I could probably put in another 30 to 50. So I'm really pushing my boundaries here on this trip. I'm going to be doing 400-mile days back to back to back to back. So with that takes a lot of planning. I'm doing a lot of things wrong, I'm sure, but it's part of the process. So I thought I'd take you guys along for the ride here. I don't know how much on bike footage I can get today, but let's go ahead and flip the camera around and I'll show you guys my setup right now.
Alright guys, so here we are. Here's the trainer. It's a standard dumb trainer. It does have power. It does read wattage. So this is a wheel on trainer. And I just run my standard cyclocross wheel on here. And basically this roller comes up right through this knob, puts pressure on the tire, and then this device right here is Bluetooth, and it reads the wattage based on, you'll see that magnet right there going by. So it detects the rotational forces and all that good stuff. And I've been using a program called Zwift to capture that information. And it's a really cool game environment that allows you to train. So as you can see, still have Christmas stuff to put away, but I've been putting off a lot of things in my pursuit to train for this event. So for me, it's a personal challenge. It's not a challenge where I'm going out and competing against other people. I'm treating it as an individual challenge, and I'm challenging my own personal boundaries and physical endurance. So as you can see here, not the best setup. This is just temporary. I have a frame bag coming, and I couldn't find a place to put my tent. Fit there perfectly, strapped it in. So there's my tent. In the back here, I've got, there's my sleeping mattress. So I've got to find a way to kind of shrink things down a bit. I probably won't go with a tent in the future, but for this event, I'm going to have to kind of stick with it just because I don't have the money right now. I've put so much money into the setup already that I don't have the money to apply what I need to kind of lighten the load here. So in the back, I've got my overquilt. I'm not using a sleeping bag just to try to save some space and weight. So I've got my overquilt. I've got a emergency bivvy to slip everything into. If this isn't warm enough, it's supposed to be down to 24 tonight where I'm going camping. 25, 24, something like that. So it's going to be super chilly. And I'm going to be layered up in wool base layer and all that good stuff. So basically all this stuff back here is sleep system, and then up front is clothing. So this is, I've got a really, really thick pair of sweatpants, and then I've got a wool base layer, so wool leggings and a wool long sleeve upper, and that will take care of my base layer. Then I've got my sweatpants for my bottoms, and then for my tops I've got this fleece that I'm wearing. It's going to go in there as well. And I'm getting ready to strip down and put on my cycling gear, which is going to be, I forgot that wasn't strapped down. So anyways, in here's my tools. So I've got a small tool kit and some space for, I forget what else is in here. I'll have to go through this before I leave, obviously. I'll probably be leaving in about an hour. But I'll get that strapped down. I got to restrap it because I'm going to take the tent off of here. So This is just a hook and loop, and then standard the salsa straps. So anyways, got the aero bars yesterday, put those on, got situated, got all everything, took it out for a little quick shakedown run around the neighborhood, and it's going to work out beautifully, and just give me another position in which to seat, and take some strain off my arms and shoulders. So this battery pack is going to be stowed away somewhere, more than likely strapped down somewhere around here, and then I can run power to my phone, which I don't have a mount for right now because I lost access. There's no space here for my out front mount that my phone, that where I'm recording this on, connects to. So, but I have the 2 feed bags. This feed bag will have some lower bars in it. It's gonna have I have sports induced asthma, so I do 2 puffs of this. I'm good to cycle my ass off for about 4 hours, and then take another puff every 4 hours, and I'm good to go. So never really had an issue. Just if I really push myself really hard, I get gassed and I have to pull over and catch my breath. But 2 hits of that before I start, I never have to do that. So once it hits your system, opens your lungs up, and you're good to go. In this bag, I've got some peanut butter ball snacks. That's just the little tub that it comes in has this blue lid, and there's the peanut butter balls. Those are really good. Keep the energy going all day. This isn't a very far trip. It's only 30 miles, but I want to go ahead and kind of outfit the bike for everything dealing with what I would be dealing with out on the trail when I do this longer endurance ride. So I've got 32 ounces of water on this side. There's going to be 12 in that bottle. I'll have a third bottle with some nun tabs in it that holds 24 ounces. And I'll also have 3 liters on my back in a crux, a camelback crux bag, which is a minimal bag, so it's only got that, and then it's going to have my spot tracker on my shoulder. And then down here is my cook kit. So this is a Jetboil flash and a gas canister, and that takes care of that. So I cook all my food in there and have my coffee. So for this trip, I'm just taking some dehydrated Mountain House meals. My son's going to be meeting me up there with another Eagle Scout across the street. So they're getting some camping in with me, but I'm riding the bike and they are driving the car. It'll take them a half hour to get there, and it's going to take me probably about 2.5 to 3 hours. It's about 30 miles, but I'm going to gain about 3,000 feet of elevation on this trip. So the main reason I'm doing this is to kind of work on my leg strength. The trip I'm taking, like I said, is 400 miles, but it's almost 30,000 feet of elevation over those 400 miles. So that's going to really test me the most. So that's why, if you look at the back here, I got this big fat pie plate of a stack. It's a 1x system, so there's no front derailleur. It's just a 1x chain system with a wide, narrow tooth stack, and never had it derail on me on the front. The back has jumped off the low end. I've done a lot of adjustments, and I've got it nailed in now. So it's not jumping off the back anymore. It jumped off 2 times and dug into the frame, which is carbon, but it just took the paint layer off just ever so slightly. And this is reinforced. There's an aluminum stay in here. So this whole wedge area is aluminum, and then it's carboned over. So I've got to keep an eye on that. It doesn't look like it's cracking at all or stressing whatsoever. So, but anyways, we have an 11x46 tooth stack with a 38 front. That gives me really good climbing gear way out here. This is, I can take 12-14% grades with all this weight on the bike, no problem. I do most of my climbing in these next to the last 2 gears, and that just keeps my cadence up and keeps those legs spinning, and yeah, it keeps me moving. That's it. That's the bike setup right now. This is going to change a lot. Oh, didn't go over the front. So the front, this is my standard everyday carry. I carry this flashlight with me every single day. But you can see the flashlight mount for a headlight and a Wahoo Bolt bike computer. Just got this and played around with it maybe twice. So this is I'm going to be testing out the turn-by-turn navigation on it. I've got my route already synced in from the phone. So this should be really interesting to see how this works out. And with the spot tracker, the wife and youngest son can keep tabs on me. And yeah, So, oh, rear light, the rear light's charging, but it mounts on the rear stay here. So it kind of mounts up, and it's a vertical light, and it faces out this way. Puts out about 160 something lumens on bright, 40 something on low, which is plenty at night for you to be seen. Again, I'll be doing, of that 400 miles, I think 125 of it is pavement. So, and I doubt I'll be riding much at night, but if I do need to, if I'm making good time and haven't hit my campsite location yet, you know, that's part of this planning process. I'm putting not only the 100-mile marks out there, but I'm also putting out 25 miles beyond and 25 miles under in case I'm not feeling strong enough that day to finish that 100 miles, just due to elevation, too much climbing, whatever. I can scale back and hit my 75-mile mark, or if I'm feeling really good, I can hit my 125-mile mark. So it's a lot of planning, scouting on mapping websites. I've got topographic maps loaded into the phone here that work in offline mode. So all kinds of contingency plans. My only concern right now is just getting too much rain. If it's looking like the event's going to rain out more than 50% of the ride, I'm going to back out of the event. I just don't want to be miserable, but I do want to push my limits a bit. So if it's going to be calling for rain 1 or 2 days, I will definitely stay on and do it. But any longer than that, I don't want to be hypothermic at night, miserable, just not worth it. So that is the bike setup. Got the bike back in late November. First ride on it was December 2nd. And with the trainer, I've already put on 1,800 miles on this bike. And it's now the first week of March. So quite a lot of riding, quite a lot of training. I've done 1 century, multiple 50-milers, a couple of 70-milers, and then I try to do at least 60 to 90 minutes a day on the bike, really pushing hard intervals, and then backing off, and then hard intervals, and then back off, and just repeat 5 to 7 days a week. It just depends on how I feel. If I'm not feeling good, I'll take a day or 2 off. If I'm feeling strong, I just keep working through it until I start feeling bad, and then I'll take a day or 2 off. So just keep hammering on those pedals, and I'm down in weight to 182 today. Last time I talked to you guys, I was pushing 205, 207, so down quite a bit of weight. Just basically working on cardiovascular endurance and leg strength. So I had to find a replacement for squats because squats were killing my knees. It hurt my knees way too much. And it wasn't a form issue. I mean, my form's decent, so I was doing something, my knees just don't care for them that much, but don't mind cycling at all. They haven't given me any issues whatsoever. Knees are feeling fantastic. So anyways, I'll stop rambling. That's my setup. As you can see, basement's an absolute mess. Just playing around with putting water on the front. Took the bike out, so there's bottles everywhere, and stuff I'm not taking. That's an old uninsulated sleeping pad, and this pad's insulated. If I'm going to ground, I want to be up off the ground, and the R value on this is like a 4 something, and the R value on that's like a 1 something. So and then I think in that salsa bag is my rain fly, and that's my first aid kit. That's going to go on the front of the bike, under the bungees here, and then there, and then gotta find some place for my hiking shoes because we're gonna go hiking this afternoon. Anyways, I'm rambling. I will talk to you guys later. I gotta get suited up and go to the bathroom and go brush my teeth and all that good stuff and get another cup of coffee in me, and I'll be ready to set sail here. I gotta change out the rear axle. This rear axle is specifically for the trainer, and the standard rear axle is a quick change, so I need to swap those out. This one is a bolt-in rear axle specifically for the trainer to fit into the cups. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to, guys. If this interests you, let me know in the comments below, and I'll put up more content of me doing my thing. It's gonna be a process. It's gonna be a learning process for me. I know very little about it. What I've really immersed myself in on YouTube and Facebook communities dealing with bike packing and endurance riding. So come along with me on this journey if you care. Alright, just had to pull over and take my jacket off. It's starting to get hot. Getting ready to climb that. from the base. You can probably see the road right there. It averages about 7%, 6%, something like that for about, yeah, it comes all the way back here, goes to the top. It's about an 850 foot climb, 7% grade, so pretty good challenge for me with this pack out. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, oh, I don't know, bike's 20 pounds without anything on it. Factor in the aero bars, front bag, rear bag, all that stuff, all the water, camelback on my back end. I'm probably loaded down probably about, I don't know, 60 pounds right now, 40 pounds of gear and 20 pounds of bike, considering the water. So, but over that ridge is a valley. On the other side of that valley, there's another ridge I gotta climb over, and that's where I'm camped tonight. So, just taking a quick break, a little breather before I hit that mountain. Take my jacket off, it's starting to sweat pretty good. But yeah, should be fun. Fun times.